Hi, Dave from PopArt here. Another week and another band to talk about. This week I've been talking to my good friend Ben Hughes about our time together freaking out audiences in gig venues and comedy clubs alike as PopArt. Just before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons over at patreon.com/DavidBurns for all of your help and support for this channel. It is very, very much appreciated. And if you've been enjoying these videos, please do like, subscribe and share them. Thank you for watching and hope you enjoy this week's chat with Ben.
Please everyone, give a round of applause for PopArt!
Welcome to the final extravaganza!
You know, wasn't Harry?
Every time I walk down the street, children stop and stare at me. I don't know how, I don't know why. Children's laughter makes me cry. I don't know how, I don't know why. My eyes take hours to dry.
Because you look like Harry Potter, you look like Harry Potter, you look like Harry Potter, you look like Harry Potter.
Hello Ben.
Good afternoon. How are you today? Well, good evening as it is here. The time is 6:07.
It is just gone 11 here. 11 in the morning. This is a time that no musician should be awake at.
Well, what is the topic? What is the topic today, David?
The topic is PopArt.
Oh, I see. The PopArt is dead.
PopArt is dead. This is a history of PopArt.
I do feel in a way that it is sort of gone away. I don't sort of write anymore. There was my last sort of musings I sort of gave to you, but that's it. There's nothing more that's come forward in any songs. I think it's because that I spend every day thinking of English because of my job now, and I can't turn on an imagination in relation to that.
Take me back to the origins of PopArt. You were doing some stand-up, if I recall correctly.
I was.
So where did that come from, and where did the idea to take it in a musical direction develop?
I was young. I was foolish. I was naive in relation to attempting stand-up. I am going to use the word attempting here rather than anything else. I was enjoying myself. I was playing occasionally the Red Raw nights and the stand comedy clubs in Glasgow and Edinburgh, 5 to 10 minute slots, and just basically doing stand-up comedy. But you had like 8 or 9 people who did 5-minute slots in an evening, but you shared it with an expert. There was normally an experienced hand being the headliner. I got to meet lots of interesting people though.
Yeah, there were some quite big names came through even for the Red Raw new comedy nights.
Tom Stade, Ian Sterling, Joe Caulfield, Frankie Boyle. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and it was nice meeting the comics who are famous. They literally are no airs and graces, because you're going out there to sort of face. It's a crazy thing, and I do recommend anyone tries it once. Just tries it once to try and in front of a crowd and try and entertain them. But not. I know that you do, David, but you have a different field. But to try and make
the music
people,
world rather than the comedy world, it's not that different.
Yeah, but you know what you're going to go say.
No, I don't. I know what I'm going to play. I have no idea what I'm going to say. It's the talking bit in between songs that I never quite got down.
That's got the hang of it. But even though I prepared stuff in relation to that. It's just a matter that you have to think on your feet and try and think if they aren't going for it. They, whether I would adapt it or throw something out. My favorite sort of one to look at was Frankie Boyle, because he just came on with a clipboard and pen, a very sort of Dennis Norden style, and was trying things out. And if it didn't work, he just went, "Oh, that doesn't work." Just cross it out with a pen or something.
I suppose if you're more used to playing bigger places, to go back to somewhere really, really tiny where you can really see the whites of their eyes, you're going to get an idea straight away whether something's funny or not.
It's quite funny because I remember at the time that he was there was a controversial jokes that he was making. At the time, he was on Mock the Week, and he was you heard it practically every week that there was I think Frankie Boyle said something controversial, and it's like I was thinking, well, I heard that 3 weeks ago in the Stand Comedy Club, and no one batted an eyelid.
Yeah, along with probably something 3 times as bad that he ditched before he went on to the show.
Yes, exactly.
So you were doing the stand-up nights. Where did the idea to bring music into the stand-up come from?
It's because I started musing about music, because I was starting to move more towards, without making people laugh in terms of doing straight jokes, I was starting to make little rhymes, and that's where you got involved. Because at the same time as I was doing this, I must have been what I want of things to do, because I was coming over to Air to do your Havering podcast at the same time.
We had a little new music podcast for kind of unsigned and local bands down in Ayrshire when I was still living down there, and you came through and did a couple of guest spots on it and bringing loads of music that you were into.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So, and you, I believe you also, I think the sort of thing that we were talking about was the fact that you were wanting to use your mandolin for some stuff, basically.
Yes, that was this mandolin here.
Was it? Well, there you go.
Which I've just picked up, and I have no idea.
It's probably not in tune.
If it's in tune. It's not bad, actually.
No, it sounds lovely. Very nice.
I never really learned many more chords than that.
I think I was sort of sketching out some songs, and eventually I think what was born out of that was football team. We were starting to do the PopArt stuff as just like a serious act, but to go onto the stage, it was already, PopArt was already blooming then at that point in terms of, but then to go onto the stage, I just sort of roped you into it.
By that point, I figured I'd be better off switching to an instrument that I can play reasonably well in public, and
And
switch to acoustic guitar, and that was, we never really looked back from there.
But I always enjoyed Christmas. You know, it was I enjoyed writing the Christmas songs. I always thought in my head that I could write a Christmas song and have Riches Untold, like the character of Hugh Grant's character in About a Boy. And I really enjoyed our Christmas adventures, because we had more than that. Was our busiest time of the year, should we say?
Yeah, half the PopArt songs are Christmas songs.
My inspiration when I was writing was always, what is the world around me? And I feel that even now, being subsequent to PopArt's ending, I think if I was writing about what the world was like now, I do feel that there would be no humor in it, no pathos.
No, this is possibly why the politics songs have migrated from pop art to Marshall chipped, because we can just do them as depressing goth songs.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I started doing the politics songs, and I wrote a politics song every general election. It started in the European elections, 2009, and I wrote one. And I wasn't going to keep writing it, but Tom asked me to.
Yeah, they became a kind of a running joke, because at every election we would have a new song. No matter what you were heading to the ballot box for, whether it was European elections, general elections, or referendums, there was a new song.
Mm-hmm. But it was about writing about something, which was still the idea that, and that was still connected with pop art in the original comedy club, because the idea that there was songs that were relevant to the time, if you see what I mean.
Yeah,
hence why the jacket was formed.
Standing in the corner booth, oh boy, it's the moment of truth. I look down at the voting slip. I'm looking down at the voting slip. I'm looking down at the voting slip. I'm looking down at the voting slip. So, posh, git, googly eye, I'm the other guy. Very summer sore lunatics, how did we get like this? Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, kick up a fuss. Panic, there's a module seat, all aboard a battle bus. Hey leaders, look over your shoulders. No taxpayer, no resident, party bank rollers. Who's cutting, who's lying, goes with personality again. Election, politics 2010. Who's cutting, who's lying, goes personality again. Election.
Politics, Christmas, X Factor, Doctor Who, Eurovision, those were the 5 staples of pop art.
But again, they're songs about things. Yes, I wrote songs that were about other stuff, but they're more about what's happening, occasions, events in the world, if you see what I mean. Yeah. Sometimes related to my adventures.
But one of the songs all of the songs on the last album pretty much were about your adventures in moving to where you are now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was the Hong Kong Boy album.
Yes, that's right. And obviously the very last song that was written was about looking back on what Britain had become, which was a sort of good way of ending it.
So that what did we do in our holidays?
What do we do in our holidays? Yeah, so that's sort of the last flourish, should we say?
What did we do on our holidays? It's a fair topic of conversation. We met into living rooms all across the nation. 2 weeks in the green fields of a cottage by the sea, just to forget duplicity.
But no, it was, those songs, Hong Kong Boy is literally about Hong Kong and what surrounds it, there are various references to places like Taiyo there in relation to that. Graves is about the vertical gravestones of Hong Kong. It is literally about, Hong Kong.
So obviously now that you're over in Hong Kong with the band in the past, what's your sort of favourite memory looking back on all the gigs that we played and the songs that we wrote?
Probably doing some gigs at the stand and having famous comedians say it's good, like famous people say it's good, or when towards the end of pop art we're doing the stuff in the Freak Easy in Edinburgh, which
that was always good, yeah.
Which was always fun. Also playing the Edinburgh Fringe festivals, either as myself, but then with you more, that sort of idea. And it was very good to play the Edinburgh Fringe. I understand it is sort of healing and coming back, the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yeah, there's a slightly smaller scale Fringe going on at the moment.
Hopefully by next year it will be more of a thing again.
The British are coming, full of chutzpah. You and Steve, oh no, that's enough. A real problem is a BBC muppet, and a young boy is really just a BBC puppet. It's something that the British have always
I had a good time.
So did I.
I can't remember who said this. Somewhere. He said, I had a marvellous time ruining everything. I can't remember who said that. Let me have a look. I had a marvellous time ruining everything.
That is the perfect pop art epitaph, isn't it?
You had a marvellous time ruining everything. Who said that? Oh, yes, of course it is. I should have known that. It's a great philosopher of our time.
Homer Simpson?
No, Taylor Swift.
Well, it had to be one or the other.
Taylor Swift, who is one of my favourite songwriters. Yes, I had a marvellous time reading that.
Don't stop drinking before song 9. Want you to qualify and straight to the contest. It's not quite melon the best, so it's pure beer lyrics and it's English not required. And hip hop is the way to go, so vote and feel inspired. A plucky British entry. Put up in the time to see. What? I got a good time and chips. Balconies, ice and slips. We're all gonna watch it on the tally. So you know it's not the same. We're not everybody right. Come on, it just all ends in like drinking and collapsing and wondering why Britain failed once again. And that is unfortunately the end of pop art. Thank you for being part of the pop art last extravaganza. We have been pop art, and for that we can only apologise.
I'm not going to say very much, just give them a round of applause. The world will be forever deprived of something we didn't know we needed. Apart from that, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for coming. We hope you had a wonderful time. Make sure you get home safely, kiss your families, and good night, everyone. Woo!